Super monster made by Richard Phillippi. This is what you call a gem right here, collectors. This is a 20-point cue. 20 points of snakewood. Some exceptional snakewood. Going into birdseye maple. 20 points. You've got 10 up top and then 10 down low. Very unique piece made by the late great master cuemaker, Mr. Richard Phillippi, who is now succeeded by his son Rick, great friend of ours up at the Phillippi shop in Pasadena, Maryland. Rick and his dad actually worked on all of these cues together, so at one point or another Rick's hands would have been on this masterpiece. I say that lightly, but I don't know any other way to describe what I'm looking at right here, and I think most of you would agree with that. This cue was originally owned by Bob Price. Bob is another real good friend of ours down in Sarasota, Florida. Bob owns or has owned some extremely big cues. This cue was made for him specifically by Richard, and there is a picture of the original LOA. We do not have the LOA, but there's a picture of it that shows that this cue was originally $7,500, and keep in mind that was back in 2007. So you can have a pretty good idea how valuable this cue is. We are actually selling it for a significant discount right here at Crossroad Cues. You can pick this up for just under $5,500 plus shipping. So $54.75 plus shipping. We actually purchased it from Bob, and I was going to hold it in our private collection. I shipped the cue to Rick at the Phillippi shop. He had it for quite a while. I told him to take his time on it because it is definitely special. We had the cue refinished, so you can say that it's like new. There's not a dent or a ding anywhere on it. And then the wrap on the original picture of the LOA, you'll see where it says embossed lizard. He replaced it with actual lizard. So you have a high quality lizard wrap. And this is what we call a ringed up handle. So look at the rings. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 position rings in the handle. And then you have a lizard wrap. Boy, I bet that was a feat within itself for Rick to do that. Can you imagine the craftsmanship that had to go into installing that lizard wrap and sectioning it off like this? And boy, does it look and feel amazing. Now keep this in mind. This was made back in 2007, pre-ban. The joint, the rings, the butt cap, the ferrules, everything is natural material. There is no overseas shipping or purchasing of this cue, no exceptions. And there are some restrictions to certain states where we cannot sell to you or ship to you. So just know your guidelines. We follow them to a T, no exceptions. The butt itself is 15.3 ounces. And it is a radial pin. That's a flat face natural joint. Look at the joint caps on this. You can see how exceptional the snakewood is. I'm sure he used the same piece. And then you've got the Abalone inlays going in there as well. The actual rings themselves are made out of natural material. Then you've got silver as well. So there's silver rings all through the cue. Man, he just did so much work on this. So much work. Richard was a legend. And again, his work is now continued on with his son Rick, who is an amazing cue maker himself. The shafts are nice old growth maple shafts. They also, as I was saying earlier, have the natural ferrules, and the tips were just replaced. I think Rick likes to use the triangle tips, and he always test hits everything right there in the shop, so that's why it's got some chalk on it. I had the pleasure of playing with this cue. Man, I'll tell you what, it is a keeper and a half. I actually have another extremely big Phillippi that is a wrapless that I'm keeping. That's the only reason I'm letting this one go. So 20-pointer, really good snakewood, natural rings, lizard wrap, monster Phillippi right here. available at Crossroad Cues. It will be on the website shortly. If you're looking to do some financing, you can finance it with Affirm. All you do is just click on the Affirm tab, and it'll give you your financing options. I do not expect this cue to last. It rolls laser straight, by the way. Laser straight. So if somebody wants to add something more than special to their collection and save a lot of money, again, a $7,500 value originally. We could be much, much higher on this. I got a good deal on it, and I'm going to pass it on to you. That way somebody can really enjoy this cue. Thanks for taking a look. Monster Phillippi at crossroadcues.com.